I want to talk about the Blue Lives Matter law. Um, the Blue Lives Matter law in Louisiana that has deemed or made the targeting of police officers, first responders, and firefighters categorized with other groups that are protected. And now if you target a police officer, firefighter, or first responder, then you will be charged with a hate crime. It should be unlawful for any person to select the victim of the following offense against person and property because of the actual or perceived race, gender, religion, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, national origin, ancestry of that person or the owner or occupant of that property, or the perceived membership or in service or employment with an organization because, right here, this is the line, because of actual or perceived employment as a law officer, firefighter, or emergency medical services personnel. That's the line right there. Because of actual or perceived employment. So actual or perceived employment. This is a law that's passed and has been signed. It's actually an act. It's a part of, it's been codified, right? This is on the books in Louisiana that if you target a police officer and they are, because they are employed or perceived to be employed, then you could be charged with a hate crime. The problem is because it's so broad, two problems. Number one, there are already laws that enhance the punishment that a person receives for targeting police officers. Now, whether or not that's on the books for firefighters or first responders, I don't know. But for sure, there's not. I don't think there's a single state in this union that does not increase the penalty for targeting, violently targeting a police officer. So this is not only redundant, but the name of the law is the Blue Lives Matter law. So it is in direct, this is from The Guardian, theguardian.com. It is a direct backlash towards the Black Lives Matter movement. And because of the vagueness of the language, this could extend to not just people who quote unquote attack police officers, but this actually includes people, it could potentially, it hasn't been tested yet, but it could include people who protest police officers. So there is a direct confrontation that's going to take place between this law and the First Amendment rights of protesters who are protesting against police officers. Now, that's the loosest interpretation possible of that law, obviously, but until it has been tested in a courtroom, it's broad enough to include those categories. So if all lives matter, they went above and beyond to make sure that we knew that blue lives mattered more. Now, here's the thing about this law that bothers me the most. When I went to look up this law, I believe there was 92 Louisiana representatives who voted in favor of it. And there were 7, actually, I have that document right here. There were 7. Damn, I got a good memory sometimes. So 92 people who voted for it and 7 who were absent. 0 voted against it. The people who didn't vote for it were simply absent. So 7 people who didn't, 7 Democrats, which gets to the bigger problem is that this bill had overwhelming support from Democrats. If you'd like to know which Democrats, good question. I'm glad you asked. This fine gentleman, A.B. Franklin, Democrat, Louisiana, African-American, supported this bill. Barbara Carpenter, African-American, Democrat, supported this bill. Chad Brown, white American, Caucasian American, supported this bill. Democrat, supported this bill. Gary Carter, African-American, Democrat, supported this bill. James Armez, not sure of his nationality. The last name kind of is, I don't really know for sure, but he looks Caucasian and he's a Democrat for sure. Supported this bill. Jeffrey Hall, African-American, supported this bill. Democrat. Jerry Gisclair, supported this bill. Democrat. Jimmy Harris, Democrat, African-American, supported this bill. John Anders, Democrat, supported this bill. John Bagneris, African-American or of some African descent, Democrat, supported this bill. Joseph Bowie, These are elected officials. Their pictures are online. You can go see them for yourselves. Louisiana.gov. African American, Joseph Bowie, Democrat, supported this bill. Kenny Cox, looks African American, some African descent, most certainly Democrat, supported this bill. Michael Danahay supported this bill, Democrat. Neil Aronson, whatever, Democrat, supported this bill. Randall Gaines, African American, supported this bill, Democrat. Robert Billiot supported this bill, Democrat. Robert Carter, Democrat, supported this bill. There you go. Out of all the Democrats, I believe it was 42 total Democrats, only 7 did not vote for this bill. And those 7 didn't vote against it. They just didn't show up. So here they are passing a law that has been, I mean, just across the board dismissed as unnecessary, symbolic, paranoia, full of paranoia, but overwhelmingly supported by almost 90% of the Democratic delegation there in Louisiana. How do you want your oppression? Because this oppression is very intersectional. You got black women in there. You got black men in there. You got people of, you know, everybody is in there. But it goes to show you the strength that the police unions have. It shows you the strength that the Fraternal Order of Police that they have. It shows you the strength that the police in themselves have over these elected officials, and the fear that these officials have of standing up against a frivolous piece of legislation like this that only fuels the paranoia, that only fuels the division, that further exacerbates the untrust that is there in that community already in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Louisiana in general. I was seeing statistics today. Louisiana overwhelmingly incarcerates more people than anywhere else in this country. Matter of fact, in this world, if I'm not mistaken. And they go in the middle of the nation, crying out because now we're seeing what probably has been going on forever. We're only seeing it because of social media and webcams on our mobile phones. And now we're at a stage where the world is crying out. America's crying out, sensible Americans. And what do? They don't go and try to find a way to bring some conciliatory action to unify the police and the community. They go and pass a bill to just spit in your face and say Blue Lives Matter, as though there's not already protections on the books for police officers to discourage targeting of police officers, because if you do, you're going to get enhanced sentencing anyway. It's not like police are out here not protected. Police are given the benefit of the doubt. It's because of the nature of their job that they are given so much benefit of the doubt. They are protected by this system. So it's not as though that there was some protected, that some fragile class of people out there who are just under attack all of the time. No. But before we get mad and say conservatives and Republicans, who I fully expect to promote this measure, we better look at those people we consider allies and ask ourselves the questions: why are we uniting blue around people who are undermining our communities? Black, white, Hispanic, other, all the above, undermining our communities.